Alright, so here comes part 2, and this is where we're going to say solve quadratic equations by factoring. So, the idea here again is that we want to make sure these equations are equal to 0 and x squared has to be positive. If they're not equal to 0, you find a way to make them equal to 0. Okay, so let's start off with something simple. Okay, so here I have one that says x squared minus x minus 42 is equal to 0. So I'm going to go ahead and put here x minus is supposed to be minus plus. And then when I do my numbers here, I've got negative 42. Nothing I see here, so I'm going to put negative 1. If there was a positive plus x, I would have said plus 1. Okay, and again, I've got the minus plus here. Numbers that multiply to give me 42. 1 and 42, 2 and 21, 3 and 14, 4 does not work, 5 does not work, 6 and 7. Okay, right there, 6 and 7 gives me a 1, so it's got to be minus 7 plus 6. Set that equal to 0. X minus 7 is equal to 0. X plus 6 is equal to 0. Add. You get x equals 7. Or you subtract, and you got x equals negative 6. So you can see here, notice here how these parentheses look similar to the final answers, and they're just the opposite. So that maybe you can skip that step and go straight to the answer. Wow, that's very intelligent, sir. Thank you so much. I'm so generous, I know. Alright, so let's look at another problem. Oh, that's not what I want y'all to look at. Just 1 second. Let's erase that and write something else. And just like that, here's a new problem. Ooh, it's like magic. Anyways. Okay, what's wrong with this one? Well, it's not equal to 0. So I need to get it equal to 0. So I need to move everything over to the right side. So I'm going to move this negative 3 over by saying plus 3. So now I have x squared plus 4x minus 12 is equal to 0. Now I can go ahead and go okie dokie. X plus minus is a plus minus. Negative 12 here, 4 here, plus minus. Numbers that multiply to give me 12 are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And they subtract to give me 4 would be 6 and 2. 6 minus 2 gives me positive 4. Excuse me. And there we go. So we can see here, then all I got to do is say, okay, just like I said a second ago, take the parentheses and do the opposite. So negative 6 or positive 2. And there goes your 2 answers. So that's the solving part of it. Now, what happens if it's got a number in front? Oh my goodness gracious, that was a huge mess. But let's fix that up and let's do something else. Okay, so here we have 4x squared plus 4x minus 15 set equal to 0. So I'm going to just do this. I'm going to go 4x plus minus is plus minus. Positive 4 for this 4 right here. 4 times negative 15 is negative 60. And again, I have plus minus because of those parentheses. Now, numbers that multiply to give me 60, but subtract to give me a 4. So 1 and 60, no. 2 and 30, no. 3 and 20, no. 4 and 15, no. 5 and 12, no. 6 and 10. Yay, finally. Oh, goodness gracious, that's horrible looking. Okay, so here it goes 10 minus 6 gives me positive 4. Okay, so keep that in mind that the 10 and the 6 multiply to give you 60. 10 minus 6 gives you the 4. Okay, so I'm going to put those here. Now, that's equal to 0, but you're going to go a little bit further here when you're solving. So you've got to remember, not only is it the opposites, but you've also got to divide too. So first step would be minus 10, or plus 6, plus 6. 4x is equal to negative 10. 4x is equal to positive 6. And then you can divide by 4. And when you do that, in this case, you're going to get two fractions. Negative 10 over 4 is negative 5 halves. 6 divided by 4 is going to be, or 3/2. And there's your two answers. Okay? So with this one, you don't have to worry about trying to divide out the extra numbers. You just start solving it. So that actually makes it really easy for this part on factoring. Okay, so let's do one more example here, and then after that, if you need any more help, I'll just answer your questions from there on another day. Let's try this. 7x squared minus 20 is equal to, let's try that again, is equal to negative 23x. Okay, so what's wrong with this one is that it's not over to the other side. So I need to move this over. Now x, it should always go x squared x number. So this 23x, which is negative, as it moves to the other side, will become positive. And now it's equal to 0 because there's nothing left on the right side. So here I'm going to put 7x, 7x, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I do stuff like that. Okay. 7x and plus and minus. All right. Now I need to say, go ahead and put here, plus 23, plus minus, 7 times negative 20 is negative 140. So I'm looking for factors of 140 that will subtract to give me a 23. So 1 and 140, no. 2 and 70, no. 3 doesn't work. 4, does 4 work? Okay, let's see here. 4 goes into that 3 times, 35 times. I'm getting closer, but no. 5 goes into it 28 times, and bada bing, bada boom, there we go. So I'm going to put the 28 here and the 5 here. So 28 and 5. Okay, so basically I end up with 7x is equal to negative 28. 7x is equal to positive 5. Notice how those are opposites. Divide. And you get x is equal to negative 4 or 5 over 7. And there you go. Okay, so that's really about as complicated as it gets. So that should be it. And if y'all have any questions, again, feel free to ask. Make sure you do ask. Today, let's see, just to see how many of y'all were willing to listen and watch 2 videos of mine. Let's see, before class starts, you need to tell me the secret word is, what would be a good secret word? State. Just the word state. All right, thank you.